And the plans are, yep, I'm gonna compete. So I decided that I want to take out the Olympia Classic title at least once.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power, and I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today I think is a pretty cool one. So I saw over this past weekend that Lee Priest's daughter, I believe her name is Allie. I'll show you guys her Instagram here. Her Instagram username is @AllieTrapplePriest. Recently received her pro card this past weekend. And of course, Lee Priest was there when she received her pro card. So I thought it was cool that she was kind of following in her father's footsteps and pursuing a professional, career in fitness. Even though this is not the IFBB, I saw some people were a bit confused about this. This organization was called the WFF, or the World Fitness Federation. It's also closely affiliated with the WBBF, the World Bodybuilding Federation. So the World Fitness Federation has a division called the Model Fitness Division. And the pro card that she got was a WFF pro card in the sports model category. So if you're looking at the photos and you're kind of confused about what this category is, that's kind of what it is. It's a sports model category. Obviously, she's not exactly wearing a bikini. So it's kind of similar to the women's divisions that we have in the NPC and IFBB, but it really is an entirely different thing altogether. So I wanted to give her a congratulations for turning pro. Again, I think it's very cool that she's following in Lee's footsteps, and I'm sure Lee is probably pretty proud that it's not the IFBB, it's the WFF. And then I also wanted to point out that it's noteworthy that the same day she earned that pro card, she then turned around and competed in the pro division and took third at her pro debut in that sports model category, fitness model, whatever it's called. So I thought that was impressive in and of itself, that not only did she turn pro, but she turned around and made her pro debut that very same day. So congratulations to Lee's daughter, Allie. Congratulations to Lee. I just thought that was a cool story and a cool way to start off this video. All right, so the next story that I have for you guys today is an update on IFBB Classic Physique Pro Terrence Ruffin, a.k.a. Ruff Diesel. So Terrence Ruffin has one of my favorite classic physiques from a standpoint of the posing and the way that he's able to present his physique. He's a very talented poser, and I think he showcases his physique very, very well. And he's effectively taken the past year off to make improvements to his physique. He's competed at the Olympia in the classic physique category a total of 3 times, 2016, 2017, and 2018. In 2018, slipping all the way to 9th place. His Olympia debut in 2016, he placed 9th as well, but the following year in 2017, he moved up to 6th place. Then he won the Toronto Pro in 2018. Then his placing slipped a little bit at that 2018 Mr. Olympia, taking 9th there. So Terrence did not compete in the 2019 Mr. Olympia, took the year off to add on size and make improvements to his physique. And he's been showcasing the improvements that he has been able to make lately on his Instagram page. And I've got to say, based on the videos that he's been posting, he has made significant progress with his physique. I think one of the areas where he was lacking a little bit was some size in the upper body. He always had phenomenal legs, especially for the classic physique division. As you can see from the front, how insanely separated and how much detail and size there is in his legs. As you can see, just him hitting these, quarter turn poses. Even the way he hits the quarter turns, I think he has the ability to present his physique very, very well. And I think whatever show that Terrence decides to do in the future, he's going to be a very dominant force at whatever show he decides to do. I think he's probably going to win a show probably pretty easily in an attempt to qualify for the 2020 Classic Physique Mr. Olympia. As far as I'm aware, he's now, getting back into prep mode and he's not taking any more time off. And I believe his goal is to compete at the 2020 Mr. Olympia. I believe he's made the improvements he was looking to make, and now he's looking to showcase those improvements on stage. And I think when he does, he's going to be dangerous, man. I think he's always been a very dangerous competitor, but now with these improvements that he's made, the time off that he's taken, the rest that he's given to his body, I think he's going to come back with a new fire to compete. And he's going to blow some people away. I mean, he already had that amazing posing. He already had the lines and the structure and the proportions of a classic physique. And now with this added size and detail and density that he has of that physique, he's going to be dangerous, man. I think he's certainly a guy that we need to be on. He needs to be on our radar for the future Classic Physique competitions. Now, next up in the news, we have yet another guest posing from Big Ramy. Big Ramy has really been on a roll lately of doing a ton of guest posings and really showing off his physique, which I think is a good thing for Ramy to do. I think it's very important for an IFBB pro in 2019 to build anticipation, to make people want to see them compete again. And I think what Big Ramy's doing is exactly that. He did this guest posing at the Popeyes Fall Classic in Vancouver. This video is courtesy of manager Matt. I'm going to shout out him for sending it to me. And Big Ramy looks phenomenal here. And Big Ramy has went on record saying he's weighing about 350 pounds right now as he's doing these guest posing. So he is extremely big, as he always is in the offseason. Now we do know that he is in the offseason based on what he said. The next show that he has his sights set for is the 2020 Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio. We'll talk a little bit more about the 2020 Arnold towards the end of this video. But to me, what we're seeing right now with Big Ramy is an extremely confident version of Big Ramy. I think even if he is 350 pounds, I think that might be an exaggeration. I think he looks relatively lean, like I've said about the past several guest posings. I think compared to previous versions of Big Ramy that we've seen in the offseason where he says he's 350 pounds or over 350 pounds, he usually looks a lot more watery, a lot more bloated than this. So whether or not he's actually 350, I think is still up for debate. I'm sure he's well over 300 pounds. But to me, this offseason version that we're seeing of Big Ramy looks a lot more conditioned than what we're used to in a Big Ramy offseason. This looks like a Big Ramy that would be getting ready for a show very soon. Now, he has all the way until March to prepare for the Arnold Classic. So I think whatever he says his weight is, let's put that to the side because I don't necessarily believe he's 350. We've got November, December, January, February, and maybe like 1 week in March and, the rest of this week for October. So you've got about 4 months, a little over 4 months for Big Ramy to diet and prep for the Arnold Classic. And he says he's not playing the size game for the 2020 Arnold Classic. I think based on what we're seeing and all these guest posings so far, that is holding to be true. And I'm very excited to see what version of Big Ramy comes to compete at the 2020 Arnold Classic. Now, in that same line of news, we're also supposedly going to see Shawn Rhoden doing the 2020 Arnold Classic. Shawn Rhoden and Big Ramy right now are the two biggest names in that Arnold Classic lineup. Shawn Rhoden, just like Big Ramy, seems to be very confident in how his physique is looking right now. Despite all the controversy going on with Shawn, he's still been posting regular updates on his Instagram. The most recent photo that he posted was this photo right here. Now, assuming this is a recent photo of Shawn, I think it's pretty safe to say we're going to have a very competitive battle between Shawn Rhoden and Big Ramy at the 2020 Arnold Classic. This is a rivalry. Really, a lot of people don't realize Ramy has beaten Shawn, and Shawn has beaten Ramy. They've both beaten each other. They're both very high-level bodybuilders. They've both been runner-up at the Olympia. Shawn has won the Olympia. Many people refer to Big Ramy as an uncrowned Mr. Olympia. Big Ramy could have a shot to beat a Mr. Olympia winner at the 2020 Arnold Classic this year. And Shawn Rhoden could have a shot to win the Arnold Classic title, which he's never won before, in one of the most competitive Arnold Classic lineups in Arnold Classic history. You're likely going to have Dexter Jackson there. Dexter usually does the Arnold. I'd be surprised if he didn't. Dexter Jackson is a former Mr. Olympia winner. You could have Dexter, you could have Shawn, you could have Big Ramy. You'd have two Mr. Olympias in that lineup. You'd have Big Ramy, a guy that's never done the Arnold Classic because he's been an Olympia guy. He's only focused on the Olympia for so many years. This Arnold Classic is going to be a battle, and I, for one, am very excited to watch it. I want to remind you guys to go buy your tickets to the 2020 Arnold Classic on their website. And also, I will have a booth at the 2020 Arnold Classic Expo, which is extremely exciting for me. I've never had a booth at the Arnold before. I had a booth for the very first time at the 2019 Mr. Olympia this past year. I was very grateful for that. And now I was able to also secure a booth for the 2020 Arnold Classic. It's going to be right next to the Redcon 1 booth. That's going to be fantastic. I've been going to the Arnold Classic every year for about 10 years now. So it's a huge honor for me to finally have my own booth at the Arnold, because for 10 years I've been going to the expo to visit other people's booth and to get to meet people that I was a fan of or people whose videos I watch. So it's a huge honor for me to have my own booth where people are going to have the opportunity to meet me because they enjoy listening to or watching my videos. And it was really cool to meet those people at the Olympia, but the Arnold Classic, in my opinion, is a much bigger deal and a much bigger expo than the Olympia as far as the expo is concerned. So I'm looking forward to meeting a lot of you guys there. All right, now let's get into the final story of the day. Calum Von Moger, in his most recent YouTube video, has confirmed that he will, in fact, be competing again. So let me go ahead and roll this clip about what exactly Calum Von Moger had to say about his comeback to competing.
And the plans are, yep, I'm going to compete. So I decided that I want to take out the Olympia Classic title at least once. I'd love to do it next year, but the reality is, it might have to be another year. Because, here's the reasons. First of all, I haven't got my pro card. So I would have to do the NPC shows. I think I have to win a few overalls and then do a nationals to get my pro card. And depending on where I can fit them in with my work and my travels, definitely I can't do any shows right now. Oh, maybe if I had time to do one in the end of November or December, maybe in December. If I did a diet right now, I have to look it up online. I think it's called the Excalibur, and I did that 3 years ago. It was the last competition I did. So I'm traveling to Naples, Italy at the end of this month to see my mum, and then I go to Dubai for 4 days to see mum, 4 or 5 days in Dubai to see my brother. And then that takes us into November, and then November 10, I am planning to go to Brazil to hopefully work on getting staunch supplements there, and also to work with Generation I in Brazil on some projects and see some friends. So that's Brazil in November, and then that brings us to the end. And then December, around Christmas, I go home and see my family and stuff. So if I can, 1 second, the doorbell's going.
So Calum says in this clip he does intend to make a comeback specifically to the Classic Physique division. He says it's important to remember here he does not yet have his pro card, so he will have to compete in the NPC. He will have to qualify for a national show and then win a national show, the overall in Classic Physique, to then get his pro card. And then he wants to make a run at the Classic Physique Mr. Olympia title at least once before he is done. And he goes on to say that due to his travel and work schedule, it might be a year or two before he's able to achieve all of those things, just because of how the NPC schedule shakes out, how the Olympia schedule shakes out, and how that all jives with his work schedule. And I think it is important to point out that he hasn't even turned pro yet. So for him to, pursue this goal of winning the Classic Physique Olympia, he's going to have to win an overall. He's going to have to win nationals. He's going to have to turn pro. He's then going to have to win a pro show and qualify for the Olympia and then compete in the Olympia, which is always in September. And to do all those things, you'd have to do it, over a very tight schedule if you've got a busy work and travel schedule. So I'm excited to see what he's going to be able to do. I'm excited to hear that he is going to be making a comeback. And I wish Calum Von Moger the best of luck in doing so. That wraps it up for the video today, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all of the stories I covered today. Make sure you subscribe to this channel if you have not subscribed already. Nick Strength and Power now at 781,000 subscribers.